No one is for homelessness. That's like being for stubbing your toe in the middle of the night. But there's always been a justification that polite society whispers to one another at dinner parties. People with mental illness or the drug addicted just don't have what it takes to make it in our capitalist meritocracy. Sure, homelessness sucks, but it's just the price we pay for all this good stuff. Rich person laugh. That's what we call all kinds of wrong, and I can prove it. While over the last 10 years, the national numbers for homelessness are down, it doesn't feel that way, because some things can be true and not be the truth. Like it's true that some people like pumpkin pie, but the truth is that sweet potato pie is way better. It's similar with the homeless problem in the United States. Even though the numbers are down nationally, the numbers of unhoused folks in the least affordable places have skyrocketed. Major cities like Seattle, Denver, Chicago, D.C., New York, Boston, and where I live in Oakland, among many others. These places make up 15% of the population of the U.S., but have 47% of the unhoused population. Why is that? Math. It's always math. We know homelessness is all about math from Zillow, a real estate and housing app that many Americans use when they want to have some FOMO, fear of missing out on owning a giant house. Zillow has lots of housing information from all over the country. They teamed up with academics to build an algorithm that accurately predicts homelessness based on housing affordability in that community. Housing affordability, so say the math whizzes, means you should spend no more than about a third of your monthly take-home pay on housing, 32% to be exact. 32% becomes kind of a sorting line. For every percentage point over 32% that a community pays on rent, that community will have a predictable increase in homelessness. Let's break it down. The more you pay over 32%, the more people live on the streets. That means if you live in one of America's least affordable cities, like Los Angeles, where rent is around 49% of the typical paycheck, and your last name isn't Kardashian, if LA gets 2% less affordable, well, that 2% change means you can expect 4,227 more people in Los Angeles to become homeless. Oh, and the 32% threshold isn't just linked to homelessness. Less affordable housing is also linked to people having less money in savings, skipping necessary medical care, food insecurity, and weirdly longer commutes to work for everybody. If you don't have empathy for your fellow humans, do you at least have a craven sense of self-interest? I bet you do. Homelessness becoming an issue for some of the middle class may sound like news, but it also means if you're already struggling to get into the middle class, then the housing issue is becoming downright horrific. One of the problems is that we need more affordable housing, but the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, aka HUD, aka Ben Carson's fancy furniture expense account, hasn't funded any new housing units since 1996. None, zero, zilch, nada, limonada. The equation of more unhoused people and fewer units of affordable housing adds up to scary times. What about the serious person argument that, while helping the homeless is noble and all, we just can't afford it? Homeowner housing subsidies through tax breaks, like the mortgage tax exemption, comes to around $113 billion. We spend $43 billion on public housing assistance. So the government gives $70 billion more to homeowners than to the homeless, and we seem to afford that just fine. Let me be clear. When it comes to homelessness, yes, drugs are real. Yes, mental illness is real. But we all know plenty of people with mental health issues living in nice houses, and it ain't like the only people doing drugs are unhoused folks. The real story of homelessness aren't those issues. The biggest issue is affordability, and whether or not Ben Carson can get a new armoire.